Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Alex Thomas here, back with another video for you guys. Today, I'm giving you guys my review and my thoughts on Scream 3, the third entry of the series, directed by Wes Craven, starring Neve Campbell, David Arquette, Courtney Cox. At this point, I think she was about to get married to David Arquette, so I guess it was Courtney Cox Arquette, but yeah, so I'm going to give you guys my thoughts on this movie. Like I said, this is the third entry of the franchise. This movie, at first, I had a love-hate relationship for this movie, but obviously we're going to get more details later in the review to how I really feel about the movie. But yeah, if you guys have been enjoying my Scream reviews, please hit that like button, please subscribe for more. I got one more to review, and then a Scream 4, and then I reviewed all of the movies in the franchise. Hope you guys are ready for this. If you guys are new to my channel, please hit that like button, please subscribe for more. And let's get into this review, you guys. I'm ready to talk about this movie. Let's get it. Let's go. All right, you guys, like I said, this is Scream 3, directed by Wes Craven. And right off the bat, like I said earlier in the video, I had a love-hate relationship for this movie. I could definitely tell that, for one, Kevin Williamson didn't write this movie. I think, I can't think of the writer's name, but like I said, Kevin Williamson didn't come back to write this movie. I think he was going to write this movie. What I read is that he had plans to do a whole trilogy. He had plans for the whole trilogy. And when it got time to do the third movie, something happened with the studio and they didn't like the direction they were going. And they wanted to do more things when it comes to bringing back certain elements from the first movie and stuff like that. And so yeah, Kevin Williamson ended up not writing this movie. You could definitely tell that he didn't write it. And that's when some of my hate comes for this movie. Like I said, the way it's written, it definitely feels like a parody of the previous Scream movies. Obviously, we're third movies in, and it's hard to try to recapture the magic that the first two movies had. And I guess right off the bat, the one thing I do like about this movie is that you want to talk about meta, they literally go full meta in this movie. Like, when I'm talking about meta, they literally are on a film set while making a movie. Like, it doesn't get no more meta than that. The story of this movie basically is Scream goes Hollywood. So the cast of Stab 3 are now being hunted by Ghostface. And basically, Sidney Prescott is living in she's secluded from everything because of the events of the two movies. She's like literally living under a different name. Gale Weathers is still out there doing what she always does, and Dewey is now like a consultant on Stab 3, working with the actress who actually is playing Gale in the movie. And like I said, right off the bat, all the main three actors, Neve Campbell, David Arquette, and Courtney Cox, they're decent in the movie. They're obviously because they've been playing this role for these past two movies, so they know what to bring to the screen. I like David Arquette more in this movie than I do in Scream 2. Now that I'm watching it over again, when I watched it over again, I said I like Dewey in this movie. He feels like he more takes charge. He feels like the Dewey from the first movie, just a little bit, but just more aged and experienced, obviously because he's been through all the stuff he's been through in this movie. Neve Campbell is good in this movie as well. Like I said, she is kind of secluded from the group until the third act. Obviously, I'm gonna go ahead and say, spoiler alert, I'm gonna talk about certain scenes and I'm gonna reveal the killer and the backstory of the killer. So spoiler alert, if you guys have not seen Scream 3, you have been warned. So yeah, so basically, like I said, Ghostface is now killing all the cast from Stab 3. Obviously tried to get Sidney out of hiding so that he can go after Sidney. And like I said, I think Wes Craven did a decent job with the direction as well. I do like the way this movie is shot. I'm so ready to see how this movie looks on 4K. Because obviously the 4K is coming out. I probably will obviously be reviewing that movie on 4K as well. So you guys will see like two different Scream 3 videos when that movie comes out. Of course, I'll be going out to buy it, and then I will definitely be making a Blu-ray hunt video for it. I'll be making a 4K review for it. But getting back to the movie, like I said, the writing is definitely clunky. It's not as funny as the other movies, but there are certain aspects that I love about this movie, and those are those certain things that this movie does feel like a certain parody to Scream, and it knows it. I love the meta, like the really meta stuff in this movie. Like, there's a scene where Randy is recorded himself during the events of Scream 2, just in case he does not make it, and he's going to explain the events, basically the rules of a trilogy. Like, he already knew, like, this might happen again. Let me record something just in case I don't make it out. And obviously within these other two movies, basically these Scream movies are kind of like, they're things that explain to the audience the rules of horror movies, and basically the rules of movies in general, especially when it comes to slashers and even trilogies. Like, the way Randy explained trilogies is that, you got to go back to the original, something that was revealed in the first part. Don't think about it. It's obviously something else that is behind the events of the first time that you went through this. And that's where we get deep more and dive into who the killer is, what's his motivation, and why he's going after Sidney. And I thought all that stuff was very intriguing. I remember the first time I saw it with my mom. I don't remember if we saw it either on TV or we had it on DVD or VHS, either one of the three. And I really did enjoy this movie the first time watch. Like I said, this was one that constantly came on a lot. It had to come on cable a lot, and we did watch it a lot as well. Like I said, I kind of like that there was only one killer in this movie. And yes, there is only one killer. That was not revealed to be two. It was only one. Like I said, I do like that it does take place in Hollywood. It takes place in California. We're not in, well, Woodsboro is in California, but we're not in Woodsboro. We're in Los Angeles. I do like that aspect as well. And they get more deep dive into like the darkness of Hollywood and what you got to go through to make it in the business. Basically, we learned that Sidney Prescott's mom, before she met her dad, she went to Hollywood to become an actress, and she went under a different alias, and she was basically just molested and took advantage of, and that's where her I guess you would term slatiness went back when she went back to Woodsboro. That's why she started getting into all these different affairs with Billy's dad and other people like Cotton Weary and stuff like that. So yeah, that's where all that comes to pass. And like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and spoil who the killer is. It's revealed that during all those events of what Sidney's mom went through, she had a child that she abandoned, and it turns out to be the killer. Roman Bridges is Sidney's brother. And I remember when I first saw it, I was like, oh, that's a nice little twist. I like that. I guess to me, it was like, okay, now it's another rip on Halloween because we have Michael Myers and Laurie Strode. Now we have Roman Bridges and Sidney Prescott. Now we have the whole dynamic where the brother is trying to kill the sister. So I did like all that stuff as well. And now going back to watch it again, I've grown to really, really love this movie. Love the quirkiness. Love, the absurdness. Even go all the way down to the fact that this dude has a device that literally can replicate anybody's voices. Anybody's voice can be replicated off this one device. And it's so absurd. It doesn't make any sense that this thing would exist, let alone in 2000 when this movie was being made. And it's just absurd. But we all go with it because we've known Ghostface to have voice changers. So, of course, they got to keep up in the ante with the voice changer. And it's pretty hokey and it's pretty hilarious at the same time. Now, I'm going to go into another negative is obviously the kills. The kills are very lackluster compared to the other movies. I think at this point in time, violence and cinema was at an all-time high, and they had to cut back on a lot of the gruesomeness when it comes to the stabs, the kills. That's why some of the kills just look kind of mediocre. You don't really see him really stabbing anybody. Everything is like cut, everything is like not shown. Let alone that you watch the first movie, you literally see a knife go inside someone's body. In this one, you barely see any of that. But yeah, like I think the kills are pretty fine. I think Cotton's kill is probably the most gruesome out of all of them. Everyone else is pretty tame. I don't know. Tyson's kill is pretty absurd. Like, he literally gets stabbed a couple times to get thrown off a balcony. So his death is pretty elaborate. But yeah, like I said, I've grown to love this movie, especially when it comes to the third act. I thought when you end a movie in a big mansion and a killer is, chasing all these different people, I love a third act like that. You know, because everyone is going to be obviously picked off one by one by one. And I like all that stuff. You know, I do like the way, you know, Wes Craven directed some of these scenes as well. Let me go ahead and get into some of my other, you know, my other things I do like about it. There's this one scene where Sydney is having a premonition about her mom, and like she's like walking down this path, and she's like, when Sydney wakes up, she's like at the window. I remember being a kid, that scene freaked me out because I always thought the actress who plays Sydney's mom, she looked creepy anyway. Like there's a scene where like we're zooming in on her photo and she just looks like a witch. She looks so scary to me, and like that scene did not help when she's visioning her mom, you know, clawing at the window like, you know, you did this to me, oh my god, you know. And yeah, so overall, like I said, I really do enjoy this movie. I've come to love it. I know that this movie is like universally not hated, but this is probably everyone's least favorite of the franchise. I don't know. If I have to go over my ranking, I think this is my least favorite of the franchise, but I still enjoyed the movie. I enjoy all the movies, let alone, you know, regardless of what problems I have with them. I really do enjoy watching these movies. I can go back and watch these movies any time of the year. Obviously, I'm reviewing them now because we're getting close to the spooky season, but I can, you know, find enjoyment out of all these movies, even with some of these stuff that's just absurd. Like we have Jay and Silent Bob literally just shows up. We have Carrie Fisher just randomly shows up. And obviously we're in Hollywood, so why not? You know, why not have these random stars just show up in this movie? And like I said, I think at this point in time, like I think Scream at this point was becoming a parody of itself, and then we had, you know, Scary Movie come out as well and mimic this entire thing as well. So it's just weird where we're at this point, and of course we had other movies prior trying to be Scream. So it was a weird time at this point. Like I said, we were getting into the, you know, the 2000s, and you know, there's a line where you know, I guess a character asks Gail, "Oh, you were right. You know, politics is the you know, I mean, pop culture is the politics of the 21st century," and that's basically what ended up happening. And same with violence and cinema. That's been a thing that's been literally like showcased throughout the entire thing. Like I said, I love the fact that they kind of, you know, put the whole fact that, you know, these movie producers and these, you know, these people that run these studios, they do some stuff behind the scenes. It's funny that Harvey Weinstein was one of the producers of this scene, and this was actually allowed to be shown on screen. Obviously his stuff has been put out and he's in jail, but it's just weird at this time that this movie was made and he was doing all that stuff at this point in time. So yeah, overall, like I said, I really do enjoy this movie. I think everyone did a decent job when it comes to acting. Even some of the side characters I really enjoyed. The actress who played the second Gale, thought she was fine. She was a little over the top for me. I thought Tyson was good. So I thought most of the side characters were good. Some of them were faceless, but obviously they were just red shirts, relatively off. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If I missed anything, let me know in the comment section below. Do you like Scream 3? I would love to hear you guys' thoughts on this movie in the comment section below. Like I said, I know this movie is not very liked amongst the fans, but I think so far, I think it's getting a slight little, you know, cult following where people are starting to appreciate this movie. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, please subscribe for more, and I'm on this one, you guys. Peace out.